What's going on, YouTubes? Time for a recap. Pretty monster one today, as we've hit many targets even today that we've been calling out over and over in all these videos for the last couple weeks, telling you we're coming all the way back up. Buy all dips. We'll see you at 22,800 to 23,870. Congrats to anybody listening. Our swings, like I said in the last couple of videos, are up 330 points, covered about 80% of that today on the big accounts. So into the day trade stuff, let me go over a few things that you guys may have seen here on X and how we handled them today, right? So I had short sentiment under some setups that we were watching and a potential sweep up to that 423.6 or, whatever it happened to be. Now, one thing I do got to point out here where it says huge T1, final short, 1 minute gap, right? These tags are for our huge take profits, right? Exceptionally when we have a T1. And I know a lot of people that follow me they don't understand our trade systems. They're not in our premium chat. So when I post something like this, and we ended up at 12,400 something green today on the Tick funded account, because we had a banger entry off of that. And then, we have comments like, well, it never got to the target. Well, it did. You just not happen to be on our live stream and you're not seeing me narrate this, because if you follow the link in the description, never want to sign up with this, I narrate the trades. I actually walk us through every trade, our whole entire group, word for word, action for what we're looking at, post tons in the Discord pre-market and through on. So I'm going to show you exactly what I meant by those huge targets, right? Because if someone's thinking just because I have a fishing order down here, right, I just hold it until it, hits. Because if you would have held it and closed your eyes, you obviously got reversed on because we didn't hit the 1 minute gap. But we did hit our target of the NQ and the ES, right? So going back into our Discord right here, again, just to reiterate some small stuff, we come through and even after hours, even after the pro, here's the ending day bounce on our tick here, 12,735. We did like 3,800 on the live account today. We walked everybody through all of these trades. My admins are geniuses, my partners geniuses. We got so many fantastic traders, and we talk about this stuff, an hour before open in the chat, and then 30 minutes before market open, I'm on live going through everything pre-market, everything we talked about here, and I have huge explanations for everything I go through. Then I explain it all live if I can. Okay. So just to clear up anything on the X and how we did the trade today, let me tell you exactly how, and I'm going to give away one of my systems that I haven't yet. It'll be in the course, the free course, the nonprofit course. And let's get into it. So how did it hit a target? What were the targets we were looking for? Okay. Well, you know me and gaps, volume imbalances, right? I'm the only person that teaches this way. And here's some of the sauce for you guys right here. So 15-minute Fibonacci is our go-to. Okay. And a couple things stand out here. The pink one, right? We have this candle very specifically drawn here. Not this one, not this one, this one. Why is that? Well, I have two huge videos in the live section on this channel teaching you how to draw Fibonacci's, why we draw them from specific points of interest where algorithms look at them. You don't just draw every single high-low. Come on, let's be honest here. So absolutely high-low 15 here, right? Pushes up, smashes all the way into the 3618, right? Fantastic. What do we know about fib recycling? Well, for me, I like 2, and again, these are in the videos, goes 1, 6, 1, 8, 2, 3, and then cycles back down to the 100. And in chat, you can go back and look. If you're part of my Discord, I told you this was not going to hit target because this 15-minute was going to go all the way to 3, 6, 1, 8, come down. And I said, man, wouldn't it be fun to scam shy this? And shies are what's happening in algorithms very clean the last year or so. It's when price action doesn't actually hit a level, like a nice cross you see here through the wick. The price action gets very close to a level and shies away and then scams everybody, then returns to the said level. So this is where those targets came in. Just because I had a fishing order on the bottom doesn't mean much. So pink fib is from the 15. Let's talk about all the entry exits here, okay? Now, we had the Fibonacci going up, and we had the resistance. We had this big sweep because I was looking for the red sentiment, underneath here, just if we started it, whatever. At the open, we needed confirmation. And if we don't have confirmation, I can't take a trade, right? So confirmation would have looked like resistance rollover where we would have popped up into the 3618 again, maybe had a lower high, lower low to trend, and then come back down. Well, we just had a parabolic move up, and I told chat, hey guys, we can't really do much here. And then I seen the pink fib 15 hit almost the 666. And what did you see? Another shy, okay? So I was like, all right, now or never, because we have an impulse. Which means we came from a scam shy at the 100 pink, okay? When you drew it, went all the way through the cycle, told you it was going to scam shy here. Big parabolic sweep move out of the gate, almost hits the 666, so we short right here into the 666. Why? Well, because that's risk reward, okay? I know there's no confirmation here, but we still have good risk reward, okay? Because the 15-minute high-low fib that cycled the 3618, that came down to almost hit the pink 100 fib, right? Cycled all the way back up to the 666 without hitting the 100 fib. They don't like to do that. That is not closing the algo. It's not closing the cycle that they think with, okay? So when we came up to the 666, I shorted because what's risk? Well, a break over the 666. Okay, well, I was looking down here short before the parabolic. Let me take an extra 86 points of fluff. I'll take that, okay? If I short into the 666, my worst case scenario, shorting into 750 is it pops in a little bit and then continues. What's the likelihood of that? Well, we already moved up about 70 here and then another 80 for the remainder of the impulse. Okay, what were the targets and why did I have a sneaking suspicion she was going to come back down? Gaps, 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 gaps. You hear me talk about it all the time. Volume imbalances. But there's a very specific one here. Now pay attention because this is the sauce right here I'm going to give out for nothing. When you go to that 1 minute chart, okay? The final short where I had my fishing order, and this is where that comment came in, right? Those 5 NQs I had down here. That wasn't a target, it's a fishing order because parabolic moves happen. Look at these candles right here, right? Slam, slam. Imagine getting just another parabolic wash candle right here and in the wick going pow into that 1 minute gap. We see that all the time, right? And those heavy parabolic moves, I like to have fishing orders out just in case I get the free fill, right? And as we look for those, just because we look doesn't mean we're always going to get them. I still had my huge T1 short for that scam shy 100. That's where I got out for $12,700 green. Again, why? Okay, here's the sauce. I lied. I'll tell you now. I said I was going to tell you that I went off on another tangent. The gaps on the 1 minutes right here on the NQ. Let me just scoot this. Let's make it real clean for you guys here, okay? The 1 minute gaps are on the same exact place. This is what I call a paired gap because they're in the exact same place. Why is that so important? Well, this is where I had my fishing order, right? Where the comment came in on X and like, well, it didn't hit the target. Didn't have to because one of the other gaps hit. I always say over and over again, SPY's the real market. We always look at the ES, right? And I don't really care about NQ all that much. What I look for is one of these to fill. And again, if I come in here right here, it's like, okay, 111, come in here, okay, 111 to 12. This 1 minute gap you see on the indicator is at the exact same time on both charts. That's what makes them a pair, right? But when you notice here, yeah, the NQ didn't hit the target because that wasn't my NQ target. I had the NQ target posted in chat in the Discord ahead of time before the dump even happened, where our target was 23,580. Why? Well, because the pink fib, that was our target. Okay, we shorted the 666 shy and it plummeted to my target short right here. And that's where two different shorts were. Huge T1 pointed right here at 23,580. This is in the Discord way before it happened. Timestamp, no edits. And then T1 short for that last little remainder. If it happened to go through the 100, we could have got the GP. Did we? No. Why? Because SPY filled the gap. So if these gaps, because there's always going to be divergence, are in the same place at the same time, but only one fills, well, SPY is the real market. So all I had to do is look to my right when I was watching both these charts and I said, wow, the 100 fib on the pink hit. That was the scam shy we seen back here. And it returned and actually hit. I should probably get out of my short because that is what we had already posted on the chart. Huge T1. So even if I wasn't getting out of the whole position, I was getting out of 80, 90% of my position. I wrote 120 some points down with 5 NQ contracts, right? 12,700. I ended up closing the entire thing. But when we have huge T1s, for shorts, and then we have T2s, which is the second target, we are out like 80, 90% of that position, right? Because our top tick was here short again. We just got golden wash. So I wanted to see that. But when I look over to the right, the ES gap filled. And I went, man, that ES gap filled. And I said this on stream. I said, guys, that's game over, right? So let's dive a little deeper into the continuation of the trade day. So we came in and we decided, yep, that's going to be the short target. We're out. And I looked for a reshort. And I reshorted a couple times and I got kicked out of the trade. And I'll show you where. I went back up and here's the next note on my chart. Close under is a must. for the T1 short. And again, I narrate this stuff live through Zoom on our personal website, on our secret screen share, on our private screen share. And I was walking ourselves through this. And I said, guys, if a close under here is a must, the 2618 is the pink fib. That's what we were watching. So if it comes up here, hits the 666, rotates all the way to our target short at the 100, pops back up to the 2618, which you've seen it start to fail right here. If we would have closed under, we could have had the continuation. Also, if ES would not have filled that pair gap we keep talking about, that would have been better too, because then we could have had more downside. But if this is a must close under note, and then you see it not, I got out of the way. So we're going to go right back to our long targets now. Get out of the way. The ES is going to bounce. We're going. That brings us to our final target. If you've watched the last couple videos in the last couple of weeks, I've been over and over and over again saying, I will see you at 23,800 to 23,875. I don't care what the catalyst is, I'm buying the dip. I went through here and I said, I don't give a crap if it comes down to the GP, I'm buying the dip. I don't care if it comes down to 100, I'm buying the dip. I don't care if NVIDIA knocks me down. It doesn't matter what, I'm buying the dip. And I will see you up here at the triple volume imbalance, right? Go look at the videos. Go watch my last 10. You'll see me hear it. See me say it like 5 different videos. We're coming all the way back because we've been stalking this trade. If I go back on like a 30-day 15, since these have been session made right here, okay? I've been stalking these since right here, 818, and it just washed, never filling this triple gap. Session 1 had 2 gaps right here. Session following had 1 gap. And then it just ran for an entire week. And then, all the Jackson Hole and everything else, right? And then I was like, okay, we got our catalysts. The psychological catalyst always means the most. Psychological is hype, fear, and greed. I can teach a monkey technical analysis. It doesn't matter if you don't know when to activate the trades in psychology, waiting for the proper news and entries, right? So we got the Jackson Hole here. The neon green fib was our 1 minute. Again, watch the last couple of videos. It's last week here. We went over all this, and it held anything above the 100. I'll see you way up here. If we back up a little bit, you're going to see nothing. So I can't find my little marker here. Oh, I must have deleted that other one, right? Yeah. There it is. You're going to see my marker here I drew on YouTube. And I was yelling at everybody, and I said, as long as it holds the 100, I'll see you up here. And I told you guys already, 447s right here was my swing entry right here. I said, I will see you up here. I'm not letting go of shnikes, but I let go of 80% right here because we hit our gap in our 2618. So, which leads me to believe, or leads me to show you exactly. Let's just delete the pink fib. Excuse me. What we're looking for. Jackson Hole's 1 minute high low goes 1618, recycles to GP. This is extremely bullish. I teach this in my course, coming out full free, nonprofit. And we're coming up to the 100. And after it holds the 100, look at the NVIDIA, we're going to go to the 2618. That's how fibs work for us. We play extensions. 1618 hits, returns to the 100 or golden pocket, right to the 2618 extension. And, well, we'll see what happens. We got PCE on Friday. So that will bring me to our final little breakdown. I'll just reiterate a little bit. If you've watched the last few videos on predictions, this might be a repeat for you. But let me show you the sauce. So on the 5-minute chart here, we'll go, we are waiting for moving averages to catch up, and it was a grinder day. I called it long after this, push back up, and we just went flying, right? After that sweep. And NVIDIA was a big precursor to that. I'll go over that too real quick for you guys, why not? So the NVIDIA earnings candle hit right here, and then I talked to my chat, and I was like, guys, as long as it holds the 50 of the NVIDIA, we're just going to continue. So you draw the high-low here for the Fibonacci of the NVIDIA. What's it do? Big old gnarly. And then I said, what, 500, I think I said? Yeah, 22,500 is in chat. And I said, as long as we're dip buying 23.5, hold tight, we're going to go long. Here's the NVIDIA nonsense. 23.5, good psychological. We actually had a really good 15-minute top, huge support as well, matched up with that within 6 points. So I kind of cheated. It was that easy. So it kind of came down here to 500, matched a lot of good stuff, popped up, held the golden pocket, popped up, held the golden pocket. Look at these structures. Look at this, right? Extend this to the right. Pay attention to GP high-low zones, right? They're so powerful. They're so important. Fibonacci is the only indicator you should be using here. The best. High-low comes down, breaks over the 3820 and 50, right? Back tests the 50 loop, breaks over the 61.8, back tests the 61.8, and continues, right? Just perfect flow in those Fibonacci channels, and then using just a couple moving averages to help us out. Well, here's the secret sauce of this one. All these fibs generally overlap, and you come over here, look at the NVIDIA high-low. Where's the 1618? Oh, imagine that. Directly on my second 1 minute gap target, which means as long as price action, even if it flushes through tonight and retraces back to the 100 fib, as long as we stay above the NVIDIA earnings, we'll see you at 23,844 tomorrow. And hopefully 871.92. Whatever it does after hours, I don't really care. If there is a flush right here, I'd maybe put some snaky limit orders down here and be like, all right, trading gods, if you want to give us a little down, I'd probably put a couple little 23.7s out there, maybe 23.660s. Put a little fishing out there, put a little micros down there, see if you can catch some fish. And then coming up to that 844 tomorrow would be plentiful. We already filled our first target and 2618. So we need consolidation, strength to hold here. We need to break up past that, yesterday's highs, and we'll see you at the final two targets that we've been calling for a couple weeks. Hope that made sense. If you have any questions about it, please comment. Shoot out on X if you have any other questions. I like to help out and talk to a lot of traders on there. If you want to watch me do this stuff live, we narrate these trades. We do not call them like we do on YouTube. I do not sit here and show my screen on, here's the perfect entry, guys. Now everybody press buy and everybody hit sell. I'm not holding your hand. I'm not chewing your food and spit it in your mouth and baby bird. I say it, it's a repeat, I know, but please do not join up if you don't actually want to learn how to do this. If you want, to pay somebody a measly $100 and think they're going to make you rich with free calls, you already lost. Your mindset's broke. Can't have that. That is a very, very terrible mindset. If you actually want to learn how to do this stuff, I'll teach you. I'll teach you how to be consistent, read these algorithms, read these Fibonacci points over and over and over. All right, guys, if you want to win some free cash monies, you know the business. Once we do our live, we're going to give away a whole bunch because I've been missing some because I've been selling off 3 of my properties and a bunch of other stuff here. Big, hectic moves. We got a bunch of offers on a couple bundles I had that I did not expect, so I had to get some properties ready for showing. So it's all good. We're going to do a big live stream. We're going to give some stuff away. Just keep commenting, and I promise we're going to do a bunch of giveaways. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next.